Broke up with a guy about last year. Great guy, but deep within me, I wasn't so sure I want to be with him, so I ended it. Now my parents won't let me rest. They keep prodding that he's the one, that prophecies has been made, that if I miss it, I have missed out on God's will for me. And now I'm getting scared that when I'm ready to settle down, that this might be an issue, as they are saying they won't accept another person if it's not him, because according to them, it's the will of God. A second question, right, which is somewhat similar, it's how do you deal with parents opposing intertribal marriages?
Interesting. So let me address the first one. Anything that gives you the impression that once you miss this person, you have missed it for the rest of your life, you are doomed, is manipulative. It is not of God. The plan of God for you is more of a program than a person. At the end of that program, a person or a couple of people might show, then you will make the choice. And then it's similar to questions around, is there a specific missing rib? Those things are metaphors that you must understand within the context of the general counsel of God's will. The person you have married is the missing rib. It's not a rib you find that you marry. Another thing about parental influence, insist, and this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to marry that with the second question. Whenever you see that parents are trying to influence you at the point of who you spend the rest of your life with, that is an inroad for a perpetual intrusion into your marriage. This is the counsel I give people. Let your parents know unequivocally and in the most polite and honorable way that this is the person that you have decided to spend the rest of your life with, and you are certain about it. And ensure that you and that person are on the same level of conviction. Having been convinced, tell your parent that this is the person you have decided to spend the rest of your life with, but you would really love their blessing. If they say they will not bless it, don't just run off and say, if you don't bless it, I'll go to my pastor. I will not bless it either. So wait for a season. Wait for at least 2 years. And I know it's a long time, but wait for 2 years. You know what that 2 years does? It shows them that you honor them. If every quarter for those 2 years, that is 8 times of coming back again to request their blessing, they still do not shift, then you have in my opinion, the allowance of God to go ahead, because your parents' sentiments should not sabotage your marital destiny. Does that mean you don't honor them because they're speaking from sentiments? You would also have your children one day, and you would have an opinion about who they bring to the house. Let them know that because of them, you were ready 2 years ago. There's no parents that can see a child not getting married, and the only reason is not because they don't have a husband, not because they don't have a wife, but because they just don't like a Yoruba man, they just don't like an Igbo. They begin to feel more ashamed and embarrassed as the time goes by. And eventually, most often than not, for parents that love their children, they will come around.